And the truth that we need to confront now is that medicine and science are being politically perverted around this country that destroys human lives. And we have reached a tipping point for the role in medicine and civic life, for the health and well-being of LGBTQI plus youth and other Americans. Those who attack our community are driven by an agenda of politics. It has nothing to do with medicine. It has nothing to do with science. It has nothing to do with warmth, empathy, compassion, and understanding. They are rejecting the value of supportive medicine, rejecting well-established science, and simply rejecting basic human compassion. We as doctors,
this is so organic,
people who love our communities and love our nation, have to confront the fact that the language of care and compassion that they're using is being taken for granted to literally tear our communities apart. So we have to stand up. We have to take a stand on behalf of those who are being hurt. That's what we do in medicine, even when it's difficult.
We've got to piece through this. The reason why, by the way, let me just backtrack a little bit. When I said, did we want to gag in the opener, it was in reference to Justin Trudeau. This was actually the substitute for vomitus in the mouth, which I realized afterwards people might have thought I was referring to this. This is apropos because of some news that has broken about which you might be aware. A certain transgender Navy SEAL who now wants to detransition. And we're seeing Chloe Cole, detransitioning teen, suing doctors. I wanted to play this because I don't remember if we talked about this or if I just tweeted about it. But it's so over the top in terms of, geez, Louise, I mean, confession through projection. My family members tell me, Viva, or they say, Dave, enough with the confession through projection. We got it. But it's never going to end. It's never going to be enough because it's always going to be there. And the people doing it, they're doing it harder. They're doing it faster. They're doing it with more, brazenness, with a total lack of introspection or a total lack of honesty. We got to walk through a few of the elements in this in terms of what Dr. Levine is talking about. It's not about science. I don't want to screw it up. Let's just hear this.
And the truth that we need to confront now is that medicine and science are being politically perverted around this country that destroys human lives.
Medicine and science is being politically perverted, which is an odd way of describing it, across this country in a way that is destroying lives. You're right, Dr. Levine.
Politically perverted around this country that destroys human lives.
You're right, Dr. Levine, but we're not talking about the same destruction of human lives. We're not even talking about the same humans.
And we have reached a tipping point for the role in medicine and civic life, for the health and well-being of LGBTQI plus youth and other Americans.
She's talking about youth. Levine, I don't know. It's like, when someone detransitions, do the pronouns change? I mean, I'm just going to go with doctor, because whatever we think about Levine is still a doctor. We'll say doctor. I would not take my kids to this doctor. I might also end that qualification of doctor with quack afterwards, but moving on.
Those who attack our community are driven by an agenda of politics.
Those who attack our community are driven by an agenda of politics. I agree with you, Dr. LGBTQ2IA plus children in our community. I agree with you. Driven by politics. And I dare say some of the doctors are also driven by a little bit of that good old digital green stuff.
There's nothing to do with medicine.
Nothing to do with medicine. Double mastectomies, top surgery, bottom surgery, puberty blockers, hormone replacement therapy has nothing to do with medicine. It has to do with the perversion of the practice of medicine. Perversion, political perversion. But it gets even better. This entire speech could have been delivered by Matt Walsh. Could have been delivered by Billboard Chris. This entire speech, verbatim, with a couple of tweaks, mutatis mutandis, could have been delivered by vehemently anti-gender-affirming care proponents. Has nothing to do with medicine, has nothing to do with science.
It has nothing to do with science. It has nothing to do with warmth, empathy, compassion, or understanding.
It has nothing to do with warmth, empathy, compassion, and understanding. You're right. Because when you lob off the healthy breasts of a young child, of a young teenager, it has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with perversion of medicine, and it has to do with corruption of what has become a very lucrative business for doctors.
They are rejecting the value of supportive medicine.
Yeah. When you lop off the healthy parts of a teenager, you're rejecting supportive medicine, and you've gone straight into body mutilation. Supportive medicine means supporting the individual through the crisis, not catering to it, not exacerbating it. You know, the idea that someone thinks they need to lop off healthy body parts in order to ease the mental anguish and distress that goes along with a mental condition, because this is a diagnosable and diagnosed mental condition. The idea that you need to lop off healthy body parts to ease the distress, that's part of the mental illness, not a solution to it.
Rejecting well-established science.
Rejecting well-established science. Can you believe Dr. Levine is sitting here telling us that we're the ones rejecting well-established science, which is that boys have penises, girls have vaginas. Boys have more testosterone, girls don't have as much testosterone. Boys develop muscle mass at around 12 to 13 years of age. Girls don't quite develop that type of muscle mass. There's an entire book my wife is reading. She's a neuroscientist, by the way, called Mommy Brain. And like, people are so torn between science and politics. It's a tug of war. Is politics going to take over science? Rachel Levine is accusing us. What did she say here?
The value of supportive medicine, rejecting well-established science.
Rachel Levine is accusing me, Matt Walsh, Billboard Chris, of rejecting well-established science.
And simply rejecting basic human compassion.
You know who's rejecting basic human compassion? The adults in the room that are allowing children in the room to dictate what happens to their bodies. They are the ones who are lacking human compassion. Human compassion does not mean catering to the mental issues of someone who is going through a diagnosed mental condition. That's not compassion. Compassion is not letting your kid eat all of the candy because they want to eat a bag of candy on Halloween. That's called neglect. Rejecting well-established science, if you eat that candy, you're going to get sick. I don't care that you think you want to. You're a kid. Your brain is not developed. That's well-established science. You don't get to make decisions that are going to permanently alter your body for the rest of your life. That's why you can't get a tattoo until you're 18. That's why you can't drink until you're 17, 18, 21, whatever the jurisdiction. That's why you can't smoke. Oh, but you can decide to take hormone replacement therapy, lop off your breasts or genitals. And we're the ones rejecting well-established science. Carrying on.
We as doctors and as people who love our communities and love our nation have to confront the fact that the language of care and compassion that they're using is being taken for granted to literally tear our communities.
I actually don't even know what that means.
So we have to stand up. We have to take a stand on behalf of those who are being hurt.
We do.
That's what we do in medicine.
Yep, we do.
Even when it's difficult.
Yeah, and you know who the ones that are hurting them are? Dr. Levine? You. And you know how we know this now? Well, the more people that go through this craze, this phenomenon, this massive industry now, the more people that go through it, the more people that come out of it and say, what the hell did you let me do to my body? What the hell did you let me do? And this was the segue into that par deux, as we say in Men in Tights. I think he was a military person. What did I say there was? A SEAL. So I hope I don't get copy strike for this, but let's play this.
May or may not have seen in 2013 an interview with a Navy SEAL, Chris Beck. He came out as a transgender Navy SEAL. But why we're here today is because of everything happening in America with this transition craze that's going on with kids.
This also reveals another two other issues, which we've discussed at various points on this channel with Dr. Sydney Watson. Munchausen by proxy, Munchausen syndrome by social media. We're going to get there because it's a point that Robbie Starbuck brings up in this. I'm very excited to see this on Rumble, by the way.
You have something that you want to tell the world. What is that?
Everything you see on CNN with my face, do not even believe a word of it. Everything that happened to me for the last 10 years, they destroyed my life. I destroyed my life. I'm not a victim. I did it to myself, but I had some help.
He's an adult. He did it to himself. Chloe Cole, 15-year-old girl, didn't do it to herself.
Gender ideology is cultish, and it's not science-based at all. They take that desire, that innate human desire to want to change and to want to help people, and they use it just like a cult leader would. And the parents are so desperate to fit in with this ideology because of the fear of the us, them. They don't want to be othered. So now they're using the children as these trophies of like, look at me. I have a child that I'm accepting of.
It is virtue signaling by proxy. I've been thinking recently that I don't know enough about the fall of the Roman Empire, and I was looking for a good book to listen to. So that I could understand I understand the 30,000 foot overview of the fall of the Roman Empire, but I wonder how much of an analogy can be drawn to this virtue signaling. Because I genuinely believe if the West falls, if the West commits some form of social suicide, it will be as a result of virtue signaling. It will be as a result of the desire to superficially feign tolerance, because what that does, it's a drug. It's a drug as much as Munchausen syndrome, by proxy. For those of you who don't know what that is, the idea that you get pity or you get adulation, you get sympathy, you get attention if you're sick. And so what that does, people fake sickness because they get sympathy. They get brownies brought over by their neighbors. They get more attention than they would have ever gotten in real life on their own merits to some extent. And so it becomes much easier to get this attention by pretending to be sick than by succeeding in health. And Munchausen syndrome by proxy, for those who, don't want to get sick or fake sick, well, you get your kids sick. And then you get to have all of the adulation, the attention, and you get to look like a hero because you're sacrificing yourself for the kid that you're making sick. What we have here is not a failure to communicate. What we have here is virtue signaling by proxy, a form of social media created Munchausen syndrome, where people say, I need to show, if only superficially, if only I put out a tweet that says, we can get to some of the superficial tweets in a second, where the people who tend to virtue signal the hardest tend to also be the nastiest. But people are so desperate to virtue signal, to show how tolerant that they are, that they have to fabricate controversy to show that they are tolerating and accepting of. And so what easier way to do that than with your children? You don't have to make them physically ill. You don't have to feed them windshield fluid in their Gatorade. Just convince them that they're a trans 5-year-old and that you're so tolerant, you're going to let them change their name. You're going to let them dress up like whatever they want. And this will be the end or the downfall of Western society, when people put more value on feigning virtue than actually being virtuous. And they put so much more value on tolerance that they're prepared to tolerate atrocities under the pretext of tolerance and humanity, caring for children who are so confused that you're going to allow the kids to mutilate their bodies so that they can express themselves. And in as much as TikTok, I believe, I agree with Sydney Watson. It's a manufacturer of mental illness. It is a manufacturer of psychological disruption. I know there's a lot of people out there who think it's a deliberate tactic by China that made the app and wants to infiltrate and degrade Western society. And I can very much understand that sentiment. I'm not sure that I'm there yet, but that's not to say that I might not get there. And it's not to say that I think anybody who's there is crazy. I don't. I can understand that idea. There's the idea that it's on purpose, but at the end of the day, whether or not it's on purpose or whether or not it's the nefarious side effect of what is effectively a drug, just happens to be a social media drug, it changes nothing. You sit on TikTok for a little while. I mean, I've got a bit of hypochondriacy myself with a little insight, so I know when it's happening, but there's people who don't. And there's young kids who are not even developed at that point yet, where they just get down a path and they start thinking that they are effectively suffering from, some form of condition that becomes a mental illness. And it's a curated, self-inflicted mental illness. I was watching, I don't know if you guys know of, this, I think it's called, sorry, that's me. I want to see if it's Chubby Emu. Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know Chubby Emu, I forget where the name came from. It's a doctor who does these very, very, very good. It's like 1,000 Ways to Die, but more scientific. And here, I'll put it in here. I'm so hypochondriacal. Like, I'm watching these Chubby Emu, a guy who gets skin cancer, cuts off his own mole, and then this cancer spreads around his body and he ends up in the hospital. I can feel myself getting skin cancer. I can feel myself having a heart attack, a stroke. There was one, the link I just put there in the chat is a kid who accidentally, allegedly ate 96 edible gummies, thinking they were candies. Oh boy. Anyhow, so that's it. The world's gone mad. And everything that Dr. Levine said in that intro is true, but of Levine and of the promoters, purveyors, and enablers of this remedy to what is a diagnosable mental disorder. And I say that with no judgment, with nothing. I say that with no judgment. Nobody should be judged, discriminated against for their mental disorders. But when medicine starts to cater to those mental disorders, promote them, encourage them, and then lucratively treat them, Houston, we have a problem. Okay. Now, let me just see something here. Do I have my phone? I don't have my phone. I need to see if Robert is in the house. Are we live on the Rumbles? There's a $10 Rumble rant and standard intros. Daddy Dragon, The Fate of Empires, and Search for Survival. I don't know what that is. Sir John Glubb, and there's a website. Everybody, how goes the battle? I'm sorry that we started off on that. It's upsetting to watch. And now we're seeing Chloe Cole suing, a detransitioning teen suing the doctors. We see the Navy SEAL now saying, holy crap, I got sucked into this and I did it to myself, but I had a lot of help. Mahuyo, $5 Rumble rant says, Viva, I would argue that politics has already taken over science, hence the replication crisis. There's no question politics has taken over science. And other people, you mean the vast majority of the rest of humanity? Levine is a fraud on every level. That has touched the riot. A $1 Rumble rant. Thank you very much. And let me get back to YouTube, because I know that we had a couple of Rumble super chats here. It's correctly addressed as Doctored Rachel Levine. The goggles do nothing. Thank you very much. And is this Admiral General Kill? You almost got me. Good one. Now, hold on. Let me just make sure that Robert has the link, because I don't see him in the backstage. I know that I sent it to him. Let me just go to my sent items. Robert, StreamYard. Okay, I sent it to Robert for sure. Standard disclaimers: no medical advice, no legal advice, no election fortification advice. We will be going to Rumble exclusively sooner than later, so there's that. Until Robert gets here, let me just take a moment. There's no sponsored item, no sponsored video tonight, except for my own sponsorship. It's not a sponsorship. It is our own merch in time for Christmas. If you go to vivafry.com, and you'll see that's me and my lovely wife. That hair is not even 6 months ago. Stress will do wonders for hair growth. If anybody wants a shirt, you can go. We got Viva Barnes. Politics Ruins Everything is the best shirt we've ever made. I never wear it and don't get someone saying, "You damn right, Viva." You can get all your stuff there. And then we also have Creations by Ziggy. Unique Christmas and Hanukkah stuff. The reason why I say Hanukkah like that is John Lovitz had a great bit on SNL. Creations by Ziggy for anybody who wants to get some amazing stuff. Okay. We're going to start. We're going to get like a Ricada type super chat jokes. Make your jokes. I am not. I actually I feel bad for the person. There's no question I feel bad for the person. I do wonder in the Navy SEALs case if there were other reasons for which they might have done that. I don't know what was going on. Oh man, until Robert gets here, who has been following the drama on Twitter? People have lost their ever-loving minds, and there's absolutely no other way of saying it. People have lost their ever-loving minds. You got Viva Chia Pet screen grabbed, and let's see if we can make that work. Hold on a second. Let me just get my wife. Marion! Oh. I need my phone. Sorry about that. People have lost their ever-loving minds on Twitter. I've got to bring up a few of them. Oh, it's been fun on Twitter lately. Let me just make sure that I can bring it up here. Thank you. I screamed very loud into the microphone. Let me make sure that Barnes is good. Give me 2 seconds. Twitter has been fun. The Twitter files never end. And they're revealing stuff that's out flipping rages. Elon Musk made the news today. For those of you who don't live on Twitter, and for those of you who don't want to be on Twitter because it's a toxic hellhole, which it is, for those of you who don't know, Elon made the news today because he said, my pronouns are prosecute/Fauci, which is kind of funny. Then you get Richie Torres, who is Congressman, New York 15, born and bred in the Bronx, product of public housing, fighting for people whose struggles were my own. Okay, it's a laudable purpose in life. And I don't judge this person on any deeper level than the last tweet. The Bronx is essential. Richie Torres for Congress. Okay. Richie Torres then says Elon Musk wants to criminalize Anthony Fauci because he disagrees with him. As if there's anybody in their right mind who thinks that that's what Elon Musk is doing. Elon is no champion of free speech. That is what we call a straw man argument of the highest order. When I have to come to, not that Elon needs me to come to his defense, but I just have to point out that, first of all, Elon doesn't want to criminalize anybody. Prosecute versus criminalize are two different things. Prosecute and go through the system. Criminalize means bypass the system to make illegal, but that's too nuanced for Twitter. So I simply said, I'm pretty sure that he wants to criminalize Fauci because Fauci lied under oath. Fact. Engaged in gain-of-function research in a lab in China, in Wuhan. Fact. And for those of you who are going to say he didn't directly engage in any gain-of-function research, financing it through third-party NGOs is just a way of concealing. The financing, the funding. They did. Others out there are going to say, if they're going to believe Fauci, it wasn't gain of function because I have a paper that says it's not gain of function. All we did was enhance something to be transmissible from animals to humans. It's gain of function. Financed gain of function research in a lab in Wuhan, China. Some might say that he doesn't want to criminalize Fauci, but just wants to, potentially prosecute him because he lied under oath, engaged in gain of function, lied about it, financed it, jeopardized the entire planet, and I will say arguably, because it's arguable and you have to, weigh your words on social media, arguably led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people, which he did. But no, it's Elon Musk is now not, they have to build this narrative that Elon Musk is not a defender of free speech, that he actually wants to stifle free speech. And they do it in the most outrageous straw man ways conceivable. Klobuchar is another one jumping on this. Amy Klobuchar, for those of you who don't know who Amy Klobuchar is, U.S. Senator from Minnesota. Amy Klobuchar comes out and says, I'm a big fan of Dr. Fauci and how he's calmly guided our country through crisis. Musk tweet, courting vaccine deniers. Oh my. Got to get with the ad hominem. Got to discredit your adversaries by calling them names. Courting anti-vaxxers. Just vaccine deniers. Sorry, she didn't say anti-vaxxers. Got to make sure I get it right. Doesn't seem like a smart business strategy, but the issue is this. Could you just leave a good man alone in your seemingly endless quest for attention? Do we notice a trend here? He's a poor schmuck. Will you just leave him alone? Jamie Raskin talking about Ray Epps. He's a good man. Will you just leave him alone? Amy Klobuchar talking about gain of function Anthony Fauci. Just leave him alone. She's a big fan of Anthony Fauci. Let's see what else Klobuchar was a big fan of, because it doesn't take much time. Barnes is late, Corn Pop. I just hope Barnes is coming. It doesn't take much time to find previous stupid things that the people who want you to listen to them now, they're saying they're right now. Let's see if they were right in the past. Here's a gem from Amy Klobuchar. July 22nd, when they were trying to tell the whole world, get vaccinated to protect grandma because it prevents transmission. But we never said we never said it prevented transmission. You're an idiot for thinking we said that. July. I don't know that this was true in July 2021. I might suspect it wasn't, but I don't know. I don't know how they know 97% of people hospitalized with COVID-19 are unvaccinated when they don't even know at that time. I think it was then where Hochul was coming out and saying, we don't know who's being hospitalized with COVID versus from COVID. We haven't done that small detail. We haven't gone through that yet. 97% of people hospitalized with COVID-19 are unvaccinated. 99.5% of people dying of COVID are unvaccinated. Get vaccinated. Protect yourself. Protect your family. But we never told you that vaccination prevents transmission. Here's another beautiful one. Klobuchar talking about misinformation. This is about Trump and Russia. The bipartisan report reaffirms what we've known. Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help Donald Trump. Protecting our democracy from foreign interference is vital, which is why we still need to pass my secure life. What else was there? There was a beautiful one here. Met with experts in Hennepin, yada, yada, as we work to combat the spread of misinformation about COVID-19 vaccines. Lies online shouldn't keep people from getting vaccinated. And let's be clear, vaccines are safe and effective. July 26, 2021. To which this is news. This is new news. They're doing the trials now on myocarditis. So my question to Amy was simply, when did we decide that it was safe to the extent that we haven't, Pfizer and I think Moderna also are now conducting clinical trials to see the extent of myocarditis. When did we see the effective part? That goalpost has moved. Effective now no longer means preventing transmission. It means reducing your symptoms if you do it, if you're lucky, unless you get other symptoms like myocarditis, 1 in 5,000 per dose. But now they're doing those studies. So when they said it was safe and effective turned out to be a moving goalpost. Based on what did they say it was safe if we're only now understanding that they're undertaking to do the clinical trials to see the extent to which it might cause myocarditis in young men? And Barnes is in the back. Let me just get one more gem. They also have to turn Elon Musk. Listen to this. They got to turn Elon Musk into public enemy number one. How do I get to home? Because Elon Musk, he's got to be promoting dangerous stuff on Twitter. Can we all agree that Elon Musk is an apartheid-loving white supremacist? From the same person. I get to swear. Please don't leave me here on my own with these crazy MAGA fucks. These are the people talking about a spike in hate on Twitter. In as much as there might have been any increase temporary through bot accounts of racist, N-words, K-words, and whatever, part of me really thinks that it's the people who are calling people crazy MAGA fucks that might be the ones putting out these crazy tweets, creating these bot accounts so they can then say, look how terrible it is, these crazy MAGA effers. Outrageous. Okay, That's the intro rant. It went longer than usual. Do we just go straight over to Rumble before? Let me do one thing. I'm going to read these super chats, and then we're going to go over to Rumble and just go and do it straight on Rumble because we're 30 minutes in, and let's do it. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of Rumble. There's a lot of super chats. Okay, let's do this. Randy King, the word homosexual was coined in 1861 Germany. It led up to the events that triggered World War I. These are facts, folks. Thank you very much, Randy King. Pasha Moyer, I am so embarrassed to have Amy Klobuchar as my senator. What a joke. I got that one. Come on. But Barnes is here. He's here. Corn Pop. Bro, let's go kayak fishing. Screen grab. I haven't taken the kayak out since I bought it. It's just sitting in the garage. English Constitution Party. Are you or have you spoken about the Brunson versus Adam oath case? Hopefully the Supreme Court will decide to take it on January 6th. Let's see about that. Melissa Wood, take note, alcohol and tobacco companies. This is your way into bigger market share. Don't forget piercing and tattoos. Are you or have you spoken about? Okay, sorry, I got that one. English Constitution Party. Let me grab it. And then one more, J Mill, before we head over. It'll be nice if everyone was forced to admit it's not a vaccine and that they changed the definition to safeguard the emergency use of said therapeutic, according to Dr. Kieran Moore. All right, I'm going to bring Barnes in. Robert, sir, how goes it?
All right.
You got a haircut.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I've been needing a haircut.
Well, you were looking a little ragged and hippie-ish, Robert. I think we're just going to end it now and go to Rumble. We'll just do the entire thing on Rumble. I'm going to go give everyone the link. Everyone, let's do this. Here's the link. It's in the pinned comment as well.
I can answer the Brunson case is never going to be taken by the U.S. Supreme Court. It's good. They did good. They did great publicity promoting that case. That case has zero chance at the U.S. Supreme Court.
What is the Brunson case for those of us who don't know?
Somebody with I get it, with an eclectic theory to throw everybody out and so on and so forth and challenge their oaths as congressmen. It's the kind of case the U.S. Supreme Court was never going to take. So it was just, it was good PR. I'll put it that way. I had tons of people emailing me, hey, what about this case? That case has zero chance. Zero chance.
All right. Well, the Barnes bet has been made. And where is it? Oh, John, I don't have it here. It says always bet on Barnes. Okay. We're going to end it on YouTube, people. Mosey on over to Rumble. And I'm going to end it in 3, 2, 1.